So isolated tornadoes, that's really Caswell County and close to the coast. If you're traveling to the beaches tonight, maybe trying to get one more beach trip in before school starts, you're looking at those shower and storm chances following you there. So we still have a threat of tornadoes. So be very cautious wherever you're driving if you have to drive tonight. We're encouraging folks not to get on the roads. A lot of damage also out around the Triangle area and heading toward the beaches. You want to make sure you know what you're driving into first. Gusts to 25 to 45 miles an hour with a tornado risk to the east, as we've talked about. And then down power lines and falling trees will be the biggest threat for motorists out there tonight. Things improve a lot tomorrow, and we're watching for Debbie's departure, really trying to get out of here by middle of the day. We're going to see some sunshine too. I'd expect even by the morning to be seeing a little bit more sunshine. We're going to watch that westerly breeze though really heat things up. We may even have to take you up warmer than the 80s that we've got for you right now. Triad rainfall at 3.75 inches. We may add another half an inch here for you. We're above normal right now for the month by more than 3.6 inches, and so almost 5 inches for the month. We're doing pretty well when it comes to the drought concerns. Not a huge deal. We look at that severe thunderstorm risk that moves off to the north and east. Meantime, Debbie continues to move into Virginia and parts of the mid-Atlantic. So 12-hour forecast. I want to talk to you about the forecast for early on your Friday as Debbie continues to move into Virginia tomorrow. We've got a few stray storms that may develop. We've got that cold front coming in, gusts to about 20 miles an hour to 25, and then they start to taper for the afternoon. 71 degrees in the foothills to about 88 degrees. It is very warm out there, and it is breezy as we go into the mountains from 66 to near 80 degrees, gusts to about 15 miles an hour out there. And again, a reminder, we are beginning to see some major flooding around the Haw River area, so we're concerned about that. That continues through Friday morning at least before it starts to dip. In terms of the Yadkin River too, the minor flooding existing out there. We'll be watching that over the next couple of days. So river flooding takes a little bit longer to get through, and we can expect to see the showers, the storms exit for the weekend. The good news is we're gonna have a really beautiful weekend on the way as well. And we're talking about showers and storm chances and looking at 74 degrees in the Triad with Raleigh at 77. And we're talking about looking at those heavy downpours continuing to build off to the north and east of us early tomorrow morning. But you notice what we've got behind. We've got a couple of stragglers out there. Those straggler thunderstorms also lifting in. Remember, we've got such good tropical moisture at the surface as west-southwesterly winds build in. You've got temperatures that are in the upper 80s to low 90s. We may have to heat you up by tomorrow. That downsloping effect coming over the mountains could be really intense. So we're watching that northwesterly flow. I want to take a look at some other wind gusts out there too that we're watching. You can see the hour-by-hour forecast is showing you that tomorrow we've got those temperatures dipping down from the upper 80s and low 90s and into the 70s by early Saturday morning. Now we do have a little bit drier air trying to move in. I don't know that we're going to experience that as a less humid day, mainly because we have still a warm wind, and we also have temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s and such good surface moisture. It's going to take a little bit of time to dry out. So I think still overall, typical August weekend where you're hot and you're humid, and we get you into your Sunday around 7 a.m. You've got showers, those storms popping all the way through parts of the Piedmont Triad. And then we go through the afternoon hours on Sunday and we start to clear you out. Maybe a couple of isolated storms there overnight Saturday into Sunday. So that's on the latest track of the system. We're talking about some of the next 7 days. Be beautiful out there. Not a worry about tropical action, at least anytime soon as well. We've got temperatures in the upper 80s to looking at those temps in the 60s. All right, I want to go back and talk a little bit more about what we're seeing out there currently with winds and the rainfall, because it's been pretty impressive. And if you were missing where Debbie is right now, it's currently about to enter the Triad. Its center is just to the south of us. We're looking at the system right now continuing to build to the north-northwest at about 10 miles an hour. So it does have a more northerly track that it's taking overall, but it's still on a slight north-northwesterly bent. So the center coming over Winston-Salem and Greensboro in the next couple of hours, and we're going to give you a look at exactly where Debbie is right now. About 45 miles east of the Charlotte area is where they're putting the center at this moment. So pretty impressive. Right now we've got heavy rain still filling in for folks up over the northern sections of Stewart, Danbury, Martinsville. We zoom in here for a closer look. This is the same area that was just hit by some of the worst tropical storm bands that came into the Piedmont Triad. We talked about Rockingham County and Caswell County. Now we're beginning to see some of those showers lift out of the Summerfield area, but wrapping then back out over areas of Stewart, out through Danbury, and continuing on that track. What we're expecting to see are those gusts tonight eventually drop down, but they have been pretty intense. We're watching that flow of tropical depression Debbie losing some of those tropical characteristics likely within the next several hours and then moving off to the north and east. And I think what we're going to be seeing tonight is the river flooding becoming more of a focus. The flash flooding is still an issue for us. I want to remind folks out in the northern Piedmont zone, Stokes, Rockingham, as we go back into Surry counties, those are the areas that we are worried about for some of the heavier rain events that have been happening out there tonight. So right now, if you can bear with me, we're just going to take a closer look at some of the heavy rain from today. And even just the last 12 hours, I want to look and see that distribution. You can certainly see it here. And put this, I'm just losing my graphic there, but we're going to put this into play, and I'll bring up some of the triad rainfall totals. But you can see here more than 2 to 3 inches in swaths right around the northern Piedmont. Some of that just falling within the last hour or so. And as it's wrapping inland now, we expect the system to take that north-northwesterly track. It is just east of the Charlotte area. You can see that center, kind of center right here, north over the Concord area now, and it'll come up right through Winston-Salem. As it's coming overhead, there's less of a concern of immediate severe weather. It's all the feeder bands that are still on the eastern side of it. Remember, we talk about that northeastern quadrant of the storm. Well, we're perfectly positioned to be in that northeastern quadrant from areas like Burlington and a little bit farther east, as most of the bulk of the energy rolled in this morning. Such energy this morning with showers and thunderstorms and heavy rain. And we continue that trek that takes it out to the north and east as we go into the next couple of days. All right, let's take a closer look at some of the radar views right now. As we take a look out there currently, we're talking about the possibility of showers and thunderstorms building as we go through the next couple of hours too. Half-inch totals possibly again in the triad from now into early tomorrow morning. It looks like the bulk of the rain, if we get more, is going to be from some quick passing showers, then a continued passing shower threat through early tomorrow. 1.6 inches in Roanoke as well. And we've got about 4/10 of an inch in the Sparta area. And we look at those showers and those thunderstorms heavy at times. And of course, we talked about that excessive rainfall outlook, just intense out there for folks in Martinsville right now, and areas to the west still under a concern. So up through the mountains, there's a slight less risk now of seeing some of the heaviest rain. You're kind of getting as much as you can get in terms of the flooding concerns. So let's take a closer look here, and we'll look at our radar images and see what we've got around the region. We're looking at our high definition radar here. You can see that swath of heaviest rain east of Mount Airy, and we'll zoom in for a closer look so I can show you exactly what we've got on tap for you right now. Let's see if I can bring that back up for you. And we will take a closer look at our radar views where we've got lots of good heavy downpours coming in for folks in these areas of Mount Airy and Martinsville, and you see through Roanoke Rapids too. This is where we've got the worst of the weather, around 58 as well, the showers along 29, and you hear folks in the background talking in the newsroom here. They're getting ready to get more storm reports coming in too from Farmville. We've got showers and thunderstorms there and straight down through parts of Caswell County included in that tornado watch. We'll see if that has also just been updated. I'm going to take a closer look at that. But the First Warning Network radar showing you where some of the worst weather has been and where we also have more weather coming your way. Wind concerns tonight, we still have the winds going on, but it's not been as bad. You can see our storm debris signature from earlier in the day. Not a threat now, but it is to the east as we talk about those thunderstorms and those rain bands really kicking in. All right, looking at the wind fields right now, we're looking at relative to National Weather Service in Roanoke, and you can see right now lots of the winds kind of spread out with those heavy rains that are coming down. We haven't seen a lot of lightning, which is interesting with these storms. And these storms continue, and I just push this away. I was trying to pull it toward me. You can see here we've got the wind coming down for folks out there with those heavy bands of rain too. So you've seen a lot of tree debris. You've got a lot of leaves down on the ground that's coming down around the neighborhoods. That's something else that we're going to be looking at too. Let's see if we can take this wind and see what's happening right here. If it'll let me zoom in. It may not be functioning quite as well as I would like it to. We've got those rainfall totals also from yesterday, watching the shower and thunderstorm threat continue to build off to the north and east. But yesterday we had the bands just beginning, and that's what helped to total up some 3 to 5 inches for us out there right now. All right, your weather road index. We have looked at the heaviest of the rains, and I do think that folks driving in the northern Piedmont are going to have the most trouble tonight because the flash flooding is still a threat and ongoing in many areas. And then we're about to see sunset. So as that happens, it's going to be much harder to drive and navigate around. And we have concerns, of course, about driving through those areas. Want to look here for folks too and see what we've got in terms of the heaviest of the rain today, just within the last 12 hours, and where we've got those storms rolling through. Because as we have those storms rolling through, we still have a chance to see another 1 to 2 inches in those northern zones. All right, thanks for bearing with me as we look at our 12-hour rainfall here. We've got heaviest of rain, of course, falling in the Piedmont Triad, but this is just really in the last 12 hours for folks here. So it is pretty impressive. We've got some rainfall totals between Danbury and Mayodan from that last line in the 2-inch range. We had some pockets here in 3 to 4 inches. That fell in about 2 hours time for folks there. And a few more feeder bands from early this morning. And you can see down to the south and west. Also getting hit are parts of the state from Spartanburg through Rutherfordton as we go up through Asheville area. And so those are some of the heavier rain events right now. And we're looking at some of the wind speeds too. We talked about that out there. Right now we've got the heaviest rain and thunderstorm activity just to the north. You still have triad gusts though that have been pretty active in that 15 to 20 mile an hour range. You've had temperatures that have been holding steady also in the 70s today. So there's not a whole lot of change with our temps. Tomorrow, I think you're going to notice a quick heating up because of that west-southwesterly wind as we talk about a front approaching pretty soon. And looking around the state, let's see if we can see what our maximum highs and wind gusts have been. We've only made it to 80 degrees out in the Tri. That was really for a brief moment. Look at this in the Greensboro area. One of our maximum wind gusts was 52 miles an hour. And you notice you go to the coast and it's 52 miles an hour for maximum gusts in Hatteras. So yeah, it really had to do with the wraparound tropical storm feeder bands as they moved inland, and the closer that the center of those lifting in just to the north of the center came, we started to see those gusts come up. And so that was much earlier today. We also have that pocket of rain that continues to be a problem. You can see some travel trouble spots too as we go along, not only 158, but along 220 and 311. So those are the areas right now that we want to focus on and watch for at this hour. We have concerns that we're going to see some more gusty conditions. Even the light winds at 15 to 25 could take down a little bit of those tree branches and any small trees. Right now, we're looking at the 220 area. Right now, it looks like a little slowdown in those zones. All right, we're going to be talking more about Debbie, and as Debbie continues to wind down, we have those storm reports from earlier, but right now she's just sitting to the east of the Charlotte area, and we're going to be watching the system coming our way. All right, road weather index, as we talked about, heaviest of rain still falling with flash flood warnings. We've got flood warnings from the Haw River, and that's really one of the major flooding zones that we're expecting, and parts of the Dan River also going to moderate to major later this evening through the day on Friday. Here's Tropical Storm Debbie. You've got that center right now between Charlotte, lifting north toward the Concord area and heading toward Winston-Salem, so the center may be right over us later. The worst of the weather for most of the Piedmont Triad ending. Still have to get through some heavy rain bands and that flash flood warning for folks across the northern Piedmont, and that's what we expect to see over the next few hours. By 10 and 11 tonight, even improving conditions from Boone all the way to Burlington, and I think you really will see some better weather. The folks that are still have a little bit of a concern maybe in eastern sections of Caswell County, and as we go to the coast, that's where we have a threat of some isolated tornadoes tonight. So if you're planning on doing any traveling, you definitely want to watch in those areas. All right, we take a quick look at your 7-day forecast before we exit. We have 88 degrees on your Friday, 89 on Saturday, and 87 Sunday. It's a drier weekend, still rather muggy, and we've got 87 degrees for Sunday to take you into Monday.